new Apple phones are coming out. The Apple 8, 8 Plus, and eventually later on down the road, the long-awaited Apple 10, which is due to be out at the end of the year. I wanted to give my thoughts on it. This may be a part one of a part two podcast regarding Apples, the new ones. I haven't seen them yet. Also, there is going to be a new Apple Watch. Of course, we'll start with that first. The new Apple Watch actually is... I actually have an Apple Watch myself. I bought the Series 2 a few months ago. I actually like it. But the newer Apple Watch, Series 3, is going to be cellular enabled. At least but there are 2 models I heard. One model's going to be without cellular, the other one's going to be with one. Now, it said depending on the phone carrier, you may be able to either share the minutes with the device, or you would probably have to get a separate plan for it. And for me, that will work out great because I have an iPad that I actually want to get rid of. Well, not get rid of, but take it off the cellular plan and switch that plan over to the new iWatch, which is what I'm thinking. Apple Watch, which is what I'm thinking about doing. Yeah, seriously considering it. Now I may go that route, although I have a Series 2, but maybe I'll let somebody else have my Series 2 watch. Which some told me I should have waited anyway. I was going to wait for 1 month, but I didn't think they were going to come out with a Series 3 this quick, and they did. And the 2 hadn't been out that long, so because I actually would love to get a full-fledged cellular watch. What I might do is trade my Series 2 in for the Series 3. So I'm looking at all that this weekend, and I may go that route, and then take my iPad, which is also on the cellular service plan, off of there and go with the watch. And that way I have the phone and a watch separately. And from what I was hearing, several some carriers might actually allow you to have the same number with both your phone and your Apple Watch. So that would be a major plus. I would love that. But I'm going to look into that, and I'll let you guys know. In any case, moving on up to the Apple 8. From what I've seen so far in videos and reviews and stuff, the Apple 8 is a nice watch. It has several great features, but they're basically saying it's the 7S, which is what some people are calling it. It's not the 7S. There's no 7S listed, but it's an Apple Watch per se. I'm sorry. It's a Apple modified Apple 7. And I actually read one review. The guy said basically, if you have a 7, don't even bother to get the 8 because it's the same thing except for wireless charging. And Apple iOS 11 is going to be updated on all of the devices that support it. It's already on my 6S and 6S Plus, so which is cool. I'll tell you about the 6S in a minute. And but anyway, the other difference is it has something to do with it's made similar to the Apple 10, but it's not the Apple 10. The design on the 8 is different from the 10. Not sure if the 8 has a home screen. I think the 8 do has a home button. The 10 doesn't. The Apple 10, which is supposed to be the anniversary edition of the Apple phone, and I'm gonna tell you, I've been riding with Apple phones. Matter of fact, I'm doing my podcast on my Apple 6S Plus right now as we speak. I've been riding with the Apple phone since its inception in 2007. I had the first one. I think I had the first one somewhere in the house. I actually was going to go ahead and try to sell it or something, or just put it in the case display or something. I think I gave it to my niece or something. fanfare with the 7, and I'm not sure if I'd get it or not. I like the way it's made, but if I get a 7, it's got to be 256 or 128. And I think after a certain time, certain models, they start making 128 models. Now the newer models that are coming out, it's going to be either 64 gig or 256. There is no 128, there is no 32, there's no 16 gig or 8 bits or 8 gigs anymore. Those days are over with. I just remember I forgot to take my meds the second day in the freaking row. I can't keep doing that. I think I'm gonna start packing them in the morning. That way I have no reason to forget them. Damn. I did it again. Oops. Anyway, at this point, it's only 5 milligrams anyway. It's not, Anywho, Apple got slick. See, usually I would have thought they would jump on releasing the 10 right away, but their plan was to put the 8 out first, dress it up from the 7, then put the 8 out, let you Google that for a while. You had googly eyes and all of that about it, and then continue to add on for the 10 before they release it. Now, the Apple 8s are supposed to be out. The 8 and 8 Plus are supposed to be out. They're supposed to be shipping out tomorrow. And I think they arrive in stores between now and next week. I know because I was looking at one and I actually have the option to get an 8 or 10 myself. My phone is currently upgradable to any new phone I want. And I know my plan with my iPad was already taken care of, so that's done. I met my requirements for that, so I can go ahead and just go into a new phone like this if I want. I thought about that. I'm still debating about it because, to be honest, I just actually had this 6S Plus replaced back in April because I cracked it on my way home from Cleveland, and I had to replace the next day. With the next two, and one thing I will say, I'm gonna recommend you guys get Assuron. Get you phone insurance. I tell my son that he still hasn't done it yet, but he's a knucklehead. Get you insurance with Assuron phone. When it comes to them shipping your phones out, they do not play. I cracked my phone Sunday morning on my way out the airport. I was actually in the bathroom, and I actually inadvertently knocked my phone over. It fell about maybe 2-3 feet. Face hit first. Cracked the entire phone. Could not use it. Matter of fact, damn, I cut my finger off trying to turn it off. So anyway, and I gave it about a day, and I looked up the information. I called Assuron that night. Okay. Told my information. Told them I had my old phone. And they said they have it shipped out. The next day, it was in the mail. The next day. I called them that night, like 11:30 that night. By 4 o'clock that afternoon, it was in the mail. In my mailbox. What ship it was? I mean, they did an overnight ship. You know, I've never seen them do overnight ship for phones that quick. That's the quickest turnaround I've ever seen for anything I've ever ordered, ever. It was literally in my mailbox the next day. And I had it up and running that night. So, my phone replacement took less than a day. So, if you don't have Assuron, which I think I'm going to do for my tablet, because my tablet is cracked. Don't really want to have to. I got to replace it anyway, but I'll do it soon. But, and I had a cover on. I had a full-fledged cover on it inside and out. But that's another whole story. But the main thing of it is that Assuron is great for insurance. And I highly recommend it, guys. You must get it. That's my high recommendation on it. They're good people, man. They understand what your needs are for your phone. And places you had to pay a deductible for it. I wouldn't say a very high deductible, but but to me, it's worth it. It actually, and I take it from me, it's actually cheaper than buying a brand new phone, which is what I did with my first one. I cracked my iPhone 6 about 2 years ago, and instead of me going through Assuron, because I didn't have insurance on it, I went and bought another phone. Which is how I got into the 6S Plus in the first place. And then I cracked that earlier this year. And I went through Assuron and saved a lot of money. By just having the Assuron and a certain amount of the deductible, it saved me like $400 or $500. So I'm grateful for that. That's very grateful for that. But I do. Here's my thing on so far on iPhone 8. I've seen it. It has maybe 1 or 2 new features, and that's it. iOS 11 covers almost every phone from the 5 on up. So anything after the 5, you'll be eligible to get iOS 11 upgraded to your phone, and no additional charge. Matter of fact, the iOS 11 updated on my phones and my tablet Tuesday, and it looks amazing. Which chances are I don't even have to upgrade at all my phones, because the iOS that supported my current phone does everything it would do on the 8 or 10. Now the 10, one thing I like about it, there's no borders. There's no home screen, and there's no borders around the top and the bottom of the screen or the sides anymore. You'll have a wider screen. It looks amazing. It really does. From the views I've seen, I haven't actually seen it in person, but that's my next move. So I'm going to try to get to the Verizon store between now and next week to go see how amazing it really looks, and then I'll go from there. And they got augmented reality facial features. Facial recognition, which I haven't tried the facial recognition yet. I tried the AR. The ARs are kind of cool. I haven't tried the one where you go into specific characters. I did the one with the dinosaurs. That was kind of cool, but I want to do something else and download a couple of others. There's this one that allow you to use special effects on your videos and your pictures. I forgot the name of it, but it starts with an L, and that is so cool. That is probably one of the coolest new apps that I've used since they did the upgrade. It's amazing. If you want to see it, I actually posted it's the one where it has me picture with my in a mask. It's DJ Wolf looking over look like the planet Saturn, laying on the ground, and people are running. And I did 2 effects on that with that app. That's a brand new app, just came out. I think it's cool as hell. What are these fools doing out here? So it's an amazing feature. It's an amazing new app, and that actually I think will be a game changer for people doing videos on right across social media, including YouTube. Yeah. So I'll talk more about that. I'll try to do a personal review of those phones when I go out to go look at them within the next week or 2, once they're officially out. All right, guys, it's DJ Wolf. I got more to say about this other stuff on the back burner. I'll talk to you guys later.